So this video is going to help you wrap up your notes on professionalism. So social media tips. How is this different from what we've already covered? Well, we were looking at the Ohio Licensure Code. Here, this is just some guidelines for educators. I'm using an article from the OEA as my source, and I just picked a few things that weren't covered in what we've already talked about. So these are do's and don'ts. So one of the do's, know the privacy setting of all the social media channels that you use. Be aware if there are changes. Sometimes when they do updates, they might reset or change those privacy settings. You need to decide for yourself what level of privacy is best. But I do want to point out that the OEA does recommend you only have it set up to share with people that you actually know personally. So that's something to keep in mind. Think about how many people that you might have as friends that are people you don't really know. And so you don't know how far your information is being spread. And these social media sites typically make it pretty easy to look at your privacy settings. All right, here's a big one to know. Do understand there is no such thing as a truly private social media post. Again, it's a social media post. It's not just something you're writing in your diary and sticking under your pillow. You're putting it out there. Even if you're putting it out there to a small select group of people, it still could be captured with a screenshot. It could still be shared using other forums perhaps, but there's no such thing as a truly private post. So here we have a group of teachers that were on a group chat, and they were using it to complain about school officials. They also, one of the teachers started using it to make fun of a student. Well, there was a student teacher that was on that group, and they found the conversation to be inappropriate. So even though they thought it was a private little group chat, screenshots of it did get shared, and those teachers got in trouble. All right, so here's a question to think about. The First Amendment. How do you think the First Amendment relates to teacher speech on social media? Because a lot of people say, First Amendment, I can say what I want. Not really the case. Free speech rights are fairly limited for educators. So when it comes to matters of public concern, free speech does cover you as long as what you're saying doesn't disrupt the school, doesn't cause controversy, doesn't interfere with learning at your school. So if you want to complain about a pothole on Main Street that you think is a hazard, sure, you can complain about that. If you want to talk about the fact that prices are too high at the local swimming pool and perhaps we need to look at lowering prices, that's also okay. But let me show you some examples of matters of public concern that were not okay. So here's a post where we have a school employee talking about the assassination attempt on candidate Trump during 2024 when they were running for office. And I circle below. So the post said, shoot, if only he would have had his scope sighted incorrectly. Wow, so I don't care what political party you support, but supporting murder is obviously wrong. Here's another one. A Florida teacher suspended after making posts on Facebook that were anti-gay marriage. Here's another one. So this teacher was complaining about people who did not get vaccinations. And you'll see like the quote was, to let unvaccinated people die. So if you look at her quote below, she says, I'm ready to say, let them die. You made a choice, yada, yada. You should not be allowed health care, yada, yada. You're like the brats in class that ruin it for everyone. Wow, there is so much wrong with that post. And yes, vaccinations, public concern, but the way she's talking about it is disruptive, is unethical. So here's a 2-year-old photo of a teacher giving a finger to a Trump sticker. Again, matter of public concern, but still as a teacher, it would be seen as disruptive. So what about private matters? Those were public concern matters. So matters of personal concern or private issues are not covered as First Amendment rights for educators. So you can't say, well, it's my personal life. If I want to show a video of me doing a beer bong last weekend, I can. Not really, because you have to watch what you say and do and post, and it can't be something that is seen as inappropriate, that is seen as disruptive, that's going to cause controversy at your school. Another thing you want to do, monitor your internet presence. Be aware of what content is out there about you. You don't know what other people might be posting, right? So one thing you could do is set up a Google alert. Another thing you might want to do is be aware of when other people are tagging you on pictures, because as soon as someone tags you on a picture, you lose control of the privacy of that picture. So let's say your social media site is locked down, friends only, and a friend tags you in a photo of you guys going out and having fun over the weekend. That photo can now be seen by all of their friends, or maybe they have it set to public. So be aware of tags and clean up your past. Let's look at some more detail on this. So when it comes to keeping an eye on your tags, most social media sites are pretty good at providing information on how to limit that. When it comes to cleaning up your past, how far back do you have to go? This teacher was haunted by 17-year-old photos. So actually, she was a high school counselor. In her past, she had been a model and done some rather racy photos. So 17-year-old photos came to light, got her fired, and she had to go to court to try and get her job back. So again, these were just a few short snippets, 4 little points in the world of do's and don'ts to help you navigate this world of social media as a teacher a little bit better. So thank you.